Alright, we are back with another Gatecrash draft. Let's see what we've got here. Legion Loyalist is very good. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, and honestly I'm less likely to play it just because it is mostly a Boros card. Humming Lightning is very, very good. Death's Approach is pretty good. Hands of Binding is not bad, mostly in Simic. I also really like Rite of Precinct 6. Just a second. Okay, my cat just hopped on my computer. That locked my computer for a second. Okay, here we go. I think I'll take the Humming Lightning. White is Precinct 6 sounds really fun, and I'm kind of feeling like doing something fun, which is why I'm going to try and avoid Boros if I can help it. But Humming Lightning is very good, and it's, I like Gruul. It's fun. Let's see, Boros Charm. Orzhov Charm is very good. Kingpin's Pet is good. Slaughterhorn is good. Experiment 1 is very, very good. Torn between Experiment 1 and seeing about Gruul and Orzhov Charm. I think rather than hopping on a I think rather than going with something that's a bit lower power, I'm going to just keep taking removal, see what's open, and stick with that. Like here, there's not a lot that's Gruul. That's Gruul, and that's okay. But Basilica Screecher, I want to say, is better. Halberdiers is very good, but I like Screecher well enough. You guys may have been able to tell by now, I'm not as confident in this Gatecrash set as I might be. There are other sets that I've definitely felt more comfortable in. So we will see how we do. Alright. Here I would be okay with Ivy Lane Denizen to go with the Humming Lightning and see where that goes. Psychic Strike is also an option. Gruul Charm is good. Either your opponents can't block you, or you kill most of their flyers. I think Psychic Strike is too fringe. So it's between Gruul Charm and Ivy Lane Denizen. Yeah, I think I'm more likely to play Gruul Charm. Alright. Wonder if this is finally my chance to play some Dimir. Dimir and Splash Orzhov Charm, but let's see. There's not a lot in red. Veteran is okay for Boros. Edict is okay for Boros, but neither one is great. Death Cult Rogue is good in anything that Basilica Screecher is good in. It's between that and Bane Alley Broker. Bane Alley Broker is more of a powerful card. Death Cult Rogue lets it stay open because it works in Orzhov. So because, like I've been saying, my goal is to stay open to just about everything that's not Boros. Alright, Gutter Skulk is fine. Any black deck wants it. Ruination Worm is fine in a Gruul deck. Neither one is amazing, but they're both fine. Guildgate is okay, but I think it's more important to have a 2-drop than it is to have a Guildgate. In most circumstances. Okay, we could take Shadow Alley Denizen and try and push all the way into Dimir. Metal Vapors is Fringe playable. Zorichi Tiger's okay. Actually, Zorichi Tiger is better in the Orzhov deck than anything else here, I think. Yeah, I think it's the card I'm most likely to play. Cartel Aristocrat is quite good. Again, 2-drops are very, very important. Looks like I'm almost certainly not playing the Gruul Charm and the Humming Lightning, but stranger things have happened. I'll leave them out a little bit longer. Balustrade Spy is very good. Surprised to see the Loyalist still here. Looks like Boros is actually relatively open, but I'm perfectly happy to have Balustrade Spy. Gutter Skulk is fine. I would be okay with something like Mortis Strider, but I like having the 2-drops so that I survive. Guildscorn Ward is a sideboard card that you can actually pull in against things like Mark of the Orzhova. That's really fringe, but it's not terribly unreasonable. Horror of the Dim is pretty bad. Both of these red cards are playable, but there's some chance I would side in Ward, so we'll see. I like Furious Resistance, but I know basically no one else does. I've seen a lot more people play Spire Tracer, so I'm going to take it. I can exile artifacts, that's fine with me. I like Purge the Profane, I won't play it always, but discard cards are often playable. I'll go ahead and hide the red-green for now. It would take a lot for me to consider them again. We're not looking at anything too great so far. And I'm going to go ahead and take the Godless Shine just so that we've got it. Otherwise, it would be between Night of Obligation or Death's Approach. But I'd probably take Night of Obligation. This is, by the way, a Swiss queue, so we're going to play all of our rounds regardless. See how that goes. Okay, so we've got, what, 9 playables from the first pack. It's not the worst. The first pack is often the time when you're kind of fumbling to see what's open, and after that, something generally is open, so you're more likely to get past it. I feel like we do not have the most open color possible, but it's not terrible. Consuming Aberration is amazing and might be worth splashing. Kingpin's Pet is very, very good. Kingpin's Pet is definitely the next best card in the pack in any color. It's a question of, is it worth splashing Consuming Aberration? Dutiful Thrall takes 3rd place as far as ones I would consider. Assault Griffin might be there, but it's easy to get a lot of 4-drops in this format. You know, I think as powerful as Consuming Aberration is, I think it's probably safest just to take the Kingpin's Pet. We need 3-drops. I'll very, very happy to pick up an Alms Beast. Okay, it looks like our colors are fairly open to our right, so we're going to be fed good stuff. To our left, we're going to be fed good stuff, like this Killing Glare. Killing Glare is one of the better removal cards in the format, probably following the 4-drop one. Alright, what do we have here? I don't like Righteous Charge, especially in black-white. It's unlikely that I would splash blue for something like Frilled Oculus that I could not pump. And I don't really like splashing red for a mediocre creature. Undercity Plague is not great. But it's really interesting, so I'm going to pick it up just because there's basically nothing else here for us. I would consider Purge the Profane if I did not already have one. Hold the Gates is better than it looks at first. But for me, it's between Shadow Slice and Dutiful Throw. How likely are we to get through damage? We've got a flyer, an unblockable guy, kind of. Some removal, and some little guys. I'm going to take the Dutiful Thrall. I'm betting we'll see at least one more Shadow Slice, and I don't really want too many. How many Gutter Skulks is too many Gutter Skulks? So it's between Gutter Skulk or Guild Gate. I would rather err on the side of having a lot of cheap spells. I'm not seeing much with Extort, actually. I've got Kingpin's Pet and I've got Screecher. But as I get more Extort, I'll definitely want to have more spells that I can cast for cheap. That makes them better if I draw them in the late game than it would be if it was just a 2/2 for 2 in a random deck. So I'll check it out. Dimir Charm is very good. It's good removal. It might be worth splashing. Otherwise, it's Orzhov Key Rune, which is reasonable. It's decent. Or Guildgate. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Charm just in case I decide to splash it. Alright, Night Watch is definitely the best card here, anywhere near my colors. As far as Guildgates go, I'm not as excited about getting Guildgates in my color as I am getting Guildgates that I want to splash. For example, since I have a reasonable reason to splash blue now, I would much rather have a Dimir Guildgate than I would have an Orzhov Guildgate. The reason for that is, at least if I have no on-color Guildgates, no Orzhov Guildgates, I will have lands that are all my colors. Just a second, Dutiful Thrall versus Enforcer. I think I just want more Extort guys. Purse of Profane I could cut. I might consider cutting Zurichi Tiger, so really I've got a bunch of little creatures that I can block with if I need to. I'd rather have the guy with Extort. Anyway, so like I was saying, I would have all swamps and plains at least, whereas if I'm trying to splash blue, that lets me splash blue much more easily without cutting the number of swamps or plains. So I definitely prefer having that. Void Walk. Do I have anything that does interesting things when it enters the battlefield? Not particularly. It can get rid of opponent's creatures temporarily, but I think I'm most likely to play a Totally Lost off the splash. Illness in the ranks. There's very, very little. However, if my opponent comes up with a Assemble the Legion, Illness in the Ranks would be the card that I would most like to have already in play. So I will sideboard it, and if I see Assemble the Legion, I will put it in my deck and play it when I can. Slate Street Ruffian is bad, but it's almost certainly better than Sky Games. Sky Games is one card that I haven't actually given a fair shake. I wonder if it's at least a fringe playable in a deck that does want to do things like Cipher cards. But that seems like it's asking a lot. Alright, Aurelia's Fury is very, very good. Sepulchral Primordial is good. Guardian of the Gateless is good. This is a great pack for Boros. Alright. For us, I think it's probably Guardian of the Gateless or Sepulchral Primordial. Basilical Guards is very good. It might be better than Primordial. Really, I think Guardian is the best card here. I'm curious how much Aurelia's Fury costs, but I don't think it's enough for it to really be worth it. It would be worth considering splashing. It's definitely a good card, but I think Guardian of the Gateless is just so good in Orzhov. It's not worth passing either time. So I'm gonna take it. This is where I'm really happy that I took a million 2-drops early, so that even if I don't get better ones, like I could take a Daring Skyjet, which would just be better than Gutter Skull. But I would much rather have the ability to take a 5-drop here. Alright, got Killing Glare, got Grizzly Spectacle, which I think is better than Killing Glare. It can kill some of the big stuff that would otherwise be quite difficult. It cannot be messed up by Blood Rush as easily. Balustrade Spy is very good. I would love to see it come back to me. Given that we've got Killing Glare here, there's some chance of it, but I'm expecting that both of these will be taken up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. Yeah, there's not enough playables that we'll be likely to see it back. Smog Elemental is not the worst. Executioner Swing is much better. So far, it is looking like I'm not going to need to splash blue, but we'll see. Death Cult Rogue and Assault Griffin are both very good. I've got 1,000,000 4-drops, though I'm not playing Scatter Arc. I'd like to have another 3-drop. Now that I've got more unblockable creatures, I would definitely like to get a Shadow Slice. Undercity Plague does a really bad impersonation of it, and I'll run it if I decide it is good or reasonable. You know, I'd love to see it in action, but I don't actually think it's too good. Okay, so Shielded Passage is a trick. That is not terrible. It's good against like red removal, for example. Razor Tip Whip, I could actually see being okay in a Control-y Ortov deck, but I'd rather have the trick against a red deck. When there's absolutely nothing for me, like here, I don't need a Slate Street Ruffian. I think I will cut something that is a low drop because they are the most obnoxious to deal with. I actually think I would rather cut Metropolis Sprite, just because it can be a pain, and I don't want to have to like block and trade Metropolis Sprite with my Screecher. I'm perfectly happy to get more Extort. With Extort cards, basically the lower the mana cost on it, the better it is. Just 100%. Yeah, it's probably not worth Demir Charm. Yeah, this deck is not amazing, it's not terrible. Not going to main deck those. I actually have a ton of creatures, which makes this appeal a little more. It's okay with Cartel Aristocrat, we'll see. Probably never going to play it. Skyblind your staff. If my opponent plays exclusively flying creatures, is almost worth it, but not. No. Okay, so looking at this deck, we're definitely going to hide that. Yeah, here we go. We'll look at it this way. Definitely the Guardians. Oh yeah, let's start with the multicolor. Almsbeast for sure, the pets. Purge the Profane. I like the card, but I probably won't bother playing it here just because it's not good enough when compared with good cards. Gutter Skulks, we'll see. Balustrade Spy, definitely. Midnight Recovery, we'll see. Grizzly Spectacle for sure. Undercity Plague, I really want to mess around with just because it sounds like fun. We'll see. I think I like Sorichi Tiger more than I like Nightwatch. It can be good if my objective is to stay alive and extort, which is kind of the name of the deck. Alright, this is 23 if I play these 3 cards that I'm not sure about. Am I missing any? Purge the Profane is probably honestly as good as Undercity Plague. It's just less fun, so I'm going to try the Plague for that sake. I do still wish really wish I'd gotten the Shadow Slice. I would much prefer it to Mana Recovery. Night Watch might be better than Midnight Recovery, we'll see. Oh, Syndicated Enforcer. That's what I was missing. Again, I've got a high enough creature count that it's almost worth playing Midnight Recovery just so I can trade and get them back. Actually, I think Purge the Profane may be better than the third Gutter Skulk. Yeah, that doesn't seem unreasonable. Although I've got an awful lot of 4-drops. Yep, that's just too many 4-drops. Night Watch is also an option, as is Shielded Passage. I think I'll play Shielded Passage, actually. It's really good with, like, Guardian of the Gateless. I can block all of my opponent's creatures. I can then make it kill some of them and stay alive for next turn. That would be really obnoxious for my opponent. If I were not messing around with this, I would probably drop that for the other Gutter Skulk. As it is, I will add, let's see what it suggests. We will not be playing islands here. Okay. I don't have many things that cost I don't have anything that costs multiple white. So I'm thinking, like, normally I would play 9-8 here. It's not quite enough to do 10-9. However, I will do 10-8 because I've got a Godless Shrine. I like having... This is almost a 10-7 kind of deck, just because of Grizzly Spectacle and the Death Cult Rogues. And having this Godless Shrine makes it a little bit easier to get away with this. So I will go ahead and submit the deck, and we will see how this goes in round 1. This is not an amazing deck, but it's alright. Yesterday I had a much better draft deck. I went Gruul, and I had 2 of the 4/4 trample. I had the X spell that deals damage to creature without flying, creature with flying, and player. I had 17 good Blood Rush creatures and some removal. It was just a good deck. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop this and start a new recording for round 1.